I recently came by this old tackle box. It's obviously been a garage sale. One of the things when I go to garage sales once in a while, and I do, when I see fishing equipment, which often there is fishing equipment there, I rarely ever buy any fishing equipment or fishing rods or reels. But I will try to find out who there is selling it and go over and encourage as much as I can for them to keep it. So it stays in the family. You know, usually when it's a grandfather that had it, and there's a history there in the family, a history of a fisherman, and it should be carried along in that fisherman. So they should keep it. That's the way I feel anyway, Trey. And in his case, people used to give me stuff all the time. When I was doing the fishing show on a regular basis, I'd have some people come over to give me and send me a home-carved fishing lure, and I would try it on the show, and it was, if it caught fish or whatever, then I'd even give them a copy of the tape of that show. So it was good. I loved it. It was really good communication back and forth. But in this case, a neighbor gave it to me. So I wasn't going to take it, but I know that he said, I don't have anything to do with it, and whatever. I said, okay, I'll take it. But on inspection, which is what created and caused me to do this video, I learned that this gentleman was born in 1889. Imagine that. 1889. The last time that I can identify that he might have fished in it by his fishing license was actually back in 63, 64, 67 would be the very last day that, or at least license-wise, that he was fishing. This was made by Fluger, and you know Fluger is an old company for sure, and I didn't even know they made cases like this. The other thing that's really unique, and it really touches your heart, is that this was given to him in 1956 by, I'm assuming, his son. It says, from Neil to Dad, you know, May 4th, 1956. And he says, a head and rod and reel he got, and then he also got this box, this very box, it says there. He actually had a little poem that he must have gave him too. But in there, it tells all about, it just shows you the warmth that this tackle box had. It's more than just a tackle box or an old piece of junk or look through. It is far from that. I like it so much, and I started to kind of go through some of the things in here, and I thought, you know what? If you look through my tackle box, you would find a lot about me. You'll find my creativity or how good I did or what I fished for, or if nothing else, you would find some things that were personal to me. I have things in my tackle box that came from my dad. Maybe this tackle box is the same way that came from his dad, an 1889 gentleman. But the interesting part today is I thought we'd go through this together, go through the box, take a look at some of the things he has in here, and you know, just kind of get a feel for what this gentleman worked with and how he fished, and brings back a memory from him through us. Okay, but I'm going to go over to the studio where I can get an overhead camera and that and get a good picture of all this so we can kind of go through this together. Now, inside the box here, we see a pretty good collection of stuff. Well, one of the things that I find kind of fascinating is that the creativity. Here's some cardboard, let me see, folded over and taped, and with the compass in it. A little compass, so wherever that compass came from, almost looks like a watch compass, like a special watch. I'm not sure what this is, but it's taped up between cardboard, cut a hole, and all around tape. This to me is really, really pretty cool, because he created this, and you know what? It still shows north very good, very quickly, very effective. Compass worked really well. Now let's start going through some of the lures. Now here's unique. This is still available today on these little, all three. You notice he's got it organized pretty well. He's got these kind of lures all together. So when he's hitting those, it can be from trout to bass. These are pretty universal lures. And I tell you what, I have some in my tackle box. They're all a little different, and they're all effective. And over here, he's got even more. So he's a guy, I would say, that on these spinner baits, so many of these spinner baits are small, and if he's a trout fisherman, now I know that the license he had was from Wisconsin, so he was fishing in Wisconsin at least a lot, or assumingly, in his last few years of fishing. And he could have been on a trout farm. I mean, get this, here's a lure, and it's still got the price on it of 15 cents. How about that? Now, whether that's a garage sale, that I don't know. But That's kind of cool. And again, like these little road runners is about what it amounts to. There's a lot of different names for them, but they're effective. They are really effective for a lot of fish. White bass tournament, where I was in with a friend, and we used those with white bass and had good success. Now, I don't know exactly what this is, but it's from Fluger, and it's real oil. Wow. I mean, I wonder how old this is. If there's a date on it or not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see a date. If I find one after I will put it up on the screen. Here's a little bitty spinner, these are small splitters, split the line in the 2 or 3 different directions, which is effective. And then you see he's got a big hook here. I'm not sure what else he'd have to go with this big hook, but it's obviously he could have had a great big, if he was doing some muskie, maybe he put a live bait on that and let that big old hook with the big old bait. This has been around forever. There's some in my tackle box like this too. Using it with live bait and a spinner works great, you know. This here, I'm not exactly sure, but obviously it kind of died. But you see, in the early days too, they did a lot more of this than they do now. And this looks homemade. What I mean by that, this is felt. This is some sort of material, and he's got it tied around there, and I can see with the old fishing line, he's got it tied around there. This probably had these little spinners, this little feathers like that already on there, but this here is to be able to take whatever kind of additive you wanted to spray on there and use, it would stay. It has some color and it would stay longer because it would be absorbed like in this material. That's pretty cool. See, that's what I like. That's what I definitely like. Guys being unique, making something that's out and beyond. That's what fishermen do, you know. Now here is a bottle. These little things, gosh, if anybody's fishing, you know, especially if you're an old timer like me and this guy, you have little things that you can hold little other things in it. Like this little container holds, let's exactly see what that is. It holds another little spinner in there. Little spinner with a tail keeping it dry. You know, that's what you do. You may get some of these when you buy it, and you may also get some that you just see, run into in a store. Split shot, ideal split shot. Boy, it's been a long time split shots came in these little containers. Really long time. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Split shot, there's a lot of split shot. I noticed there's a lot of split shot and the add-ons to your line. And let's see what this one is here. All right. Now, more of these little split shot. Just a lot of split shot. You know, that tells me that he likes to use live bait and maybe and drag it down. Here's another one. Here's another fishing license. This is back in 1964. Yeah, issued back in 1964. So that's another old fishing license. What you do, you put these fishing licenses in your tackle box, and you end up never taking them out, which is kind of cool. And here's a holder for a fishing license, and the other thing I thought was kind of unique is he's got his own there's one little compartment here that he has Band-Aids in, which is pretty awesome. He's got Band-Aids and he's got some elastic here to hold the Band-Aid on, and just kind of unique. You're going to get cut. If you're going to be a fisherman, you're going to get cut. Here's another little container, nothing in it. He does have, this is unique. Now, I'm looking at this for the first time, so it's not like I went through this whole thing already and picked out everything that was cool. So we're kind of going through it together. Looks like a hook sharpener here. It's and with the hook, and it's got engraved with his name on it. I'll be darned. His name and plus his son. That's very cool. That's very cool. I mean, that's a keepsake right there. And that's why I say this shouldn't be in my collection. It should be in their family's collection, somewhere along the line. If it's possible, and I would be able to reach them, that's where it would end up. I probably have to force somebody to take it because it's been so long. Because you imagine the son now, if he was 20 or so when he gave this to his dad. He's in his 70s or 80, pretty close to 80 or more. So, you know, hopefully he's around, but you never know. It's pretty far chance. Okay, let's move on. Some of this just has straight standard hooks. Another sinker, inline sinker, which they rubber band. I got some of those today, and they're still very popular. Here's again more of those swivels. He likes the swivels. And I would say that here's a really like almost a fly, but he obviously hooked on a lot of things on the end of his line. He would set up a little tackle to make it a little different, and I'm after his heart there. I understand it. You got to have something a little different, especially when your buddy's fishing next to you and you're not catching anything you want to get. Here's another inline sinker. Now these can be put on. You know, really the quick connect, you see that, how line would go through here, out here, hopefully you can see that. You know, we go in one way and out the other way, and it would stick in between there, so you could put it anywhere along the line and hold your lure down. Here's another one that I think that if I was to keep any of this and not being able to get it back. Anyway, here's another one that I think is quite unique. You notice this here, it's got these little levels on there. It's got these little loops of metal going around to make this baby spin. So it makes its own little spin, but different than a normal spinner bait or whatever. This makes it really fast, shooting water between it. I would love to see this in the water. And when I get the chance, I'm going to do just that. I got two of them in there. He's got, I should say. And now he got some heavy line with another fishing license. And, oh man, he's got his date of birth here again, 18. Now the other thing that's kind of unique about this is sort of like for a fly fisherman, you know, which not uncommon. You get some, you know, poppers like this. Nothing too terribly unique in here. This is, I think, again, oil. Yep, got it, Fluger. Got to have a lot of oil. Here, this is, you know, these Johnson spoons. Come on now, this is, I don't know how old this is, but obviously the box and everything else, they might or may not be worth anything, but they're worth as a keepsake more anyway. A bobber rig, or a weight with a hook, basically live bait rig. Now he's got some all-purpose needles. Unique, this is kind of cool because you can thread needles into either tackle, bait, they're hooked, and they slice up so you can actually make something kind of out of nothing. Here's a box that we don't know what was in it. Here's a box. Let's see what this, oh, this is kind of cool. Obviously you can see this was probably a real luxury type box because it's like a book. It's American Can Company. Huh, study your line. This is kind of cool. But the box actually had these where you could hook your lures on them, and they got more of the spinnerbait. He did a lot of casting and reeling. There's no question about it. I think he used a lot of light equipment more than heavy equipment. I think he might have been a trout fisherman, liked the trout fish, small panfish and so forth. But he liked to go after them, and I really respect that. Not just. I haven't seen a bobber in here. So he's the guy that wants to get some action when he fishes, and I respect that. I feel the same way. I want to go out there and I want to go hunting for him, and nothing's better than crankbaits and these spinners. Awesome. Very, very cool. And then, let's put that aside. Let's see what this is. This is the original Rinicon rig. I'm not sure what that means, but obviously this is Appleton, Wisconsin. See the other side for instructions. Well, there's the instructions. See, he had a number of these swivels, three-way swivels, and with the thinking, this is true. This is true. If you get in this is truly a good combination. Let me make sure that's in there. It's still a good combination to rate a fish. So I think that's awesome. And then here, I don't know. The cleaner, this is, again, something, now these are neat boxes. Bayer aspirin. Okay. Yeah, you're going to be a fisherman, you're going to need that. Now this I get a kick out. This is a hook with the chain on into this so he can hook it up either on his boat or whatever. And of course this is, again, a sign of a fisherman who likes crappie fishing or small game fish. because they do this as a scaler, scale off all the scales off before they fry and cook it. Seen a number of that. Here's another box of variety. What does this say? Very hard to make out some of this now. Catfish. Catfish. So he's saying right there that he likes fishing for catfish. That could be where that big old hook's coming from too. But yeah, here we go. I can't quite get it. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, big hooks. Big hooks. Wired together even. So let me see if I can show you that. This is a big hook, and it's wired together, so like 2 or 3 hooks. Now that just could be just to hold them together, or it could be the way you like to use them. But they all have some sort of wire around them. Kind of cool, for sure. Okay, there we go. We know he liked that. And of course he's got 2 stringers he's got three stringers like this. So if he was a big cat fisherman, you're going to need some stringers. That's for sure. And they don't smell fishy, but I'm sure they would, 30 years ago or 40 years ago. I can't believe how old these things are. This is very cool. You'll never be able to see it on camera, but this got down to 1965, 920, 30, 73. These are things that he got and they put on this cardboard, not thinking that it's going to destroy it. He wrote on it what he used it, Wolf River, 1954, they said it, I read that wrong. 1954, he had this with Wolf River, he used this, and these little swivels on it, and a sinker, and hooks. Very basic, can't beat that. And then another, so we're kind of down to the end. The whole idea of this was, I just kind of wanted to go through it, and I stumbled through it because I didn't go through this until we did it together, except for a couple of things on the top, and decided, boy, this, we should talk about this. We should show this. And I know this guy. I feel a little closer to him, and I would love to have met him, and I would like to meet his family. And if it ever came the case, I would give this to. At this point, it would have to be a grandson or beyond that, because. The age, his son would be in his 80s more than likely, and of course I'd have to assume that verse of death. But you see this a lot. You see, where Grandpa had all this equipment, and the kid, we as grandpas or dads, we should take our kids fishing, give them the respect for the sport of fishing and all the things that go with it, like this tackle and the tackle box and that, just as this gentleman did in his son. I applaud them. That's what makes this particular tackle box so special to me. It was given to him by his son, so his son fished with them. They had time together, even though now they're out of their picture more than likely of life. They worked together. They fished together. I tell you what, I have 2 daughters and 4 granddaughters, and I have fished with just about all of them, and we've gone through more times together. They're the best, absolutely the best times ever. So, if you're a grandpa, you're a dad, get the kids out fishing, give them the respect for the tackle, how to use it, and don't ever let them throw your tackle box away someday when you get older. Don't let it happen. Get them involved. Well, hope you liked watching it. It was kind of fun to share it with you. We'll see you next time.